Rock it out now. Yo, you gotta do that dance Michael Jackson did and rock with me. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, rock it out, yo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
What's goody, young world?
Thank you. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome.
To another episode of...
Drum roll, please.
The Open Book Podcast.
What? The what?
Open
Book Podcast.
With
Welcome.
The
with the Floyds.
We be doing our thing.
Yep.
We be on here talking.
We be chopping it.
Then we be taking breaks too long. we be going away from podcasts.
We be living life, y'all.
Yeah, but you can't go away. People be
right.
like forgetting who you are.
You're right. We still got to do some podcast shows. But today we're coming again with another review.
We reviewing the things, man. You know, let me just tell y'all, there are certain movies that my wife just loves.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, we don't tend to see those movies at the same time.
No.
And man, she can't rest. Her soul can't even settle until I done seen these movies. Like Gladiator, we went our whole marriage.
It's a long time.
So long.
I finally got him to watch it last week before last. Yes, because we knew Gladiator 2 was coming out. And I'm like, you have to watch the first one because it's so good. Like, Gladiator was my all-time favorite movie for a very, very long time. I even loved the soundtrack, which is odd because there is no music. It's just a score. But I moved to Indianapolis, more specifically. And I would listen to that score like the whole 5 hours it took to drive from
You would drive listening to the score
Cleveland,
of Gladiator?
I did. I just loved that movie. I loved Russell Crowe in that movie. And I loved the score. I did. I would listen to that. And I mean, after a while, it was like, what are you doing? You need some music. This is like a 5.5 hour drive. But yeah, so it was super exciting for you to watch it. And you're right. Honor and I went to go see this particular movie last week in the theater. And I was just so excited. I thought it was an excellent movie, and I've been talking about it all week. And since
her soul would settle,
listening to the soundtrack, and watching different TikToks and reviews on YouTube. And I'm happy to say the hubs finally watched it. The husband tuned in.
She didn't have to drag me kicking and screaming like some other movies.
And I do not give anything away in the movies, not one thing. He will ask me a ton of questions, and I will just look blank-faced like I have no idea, because I am not a spoiler.
Let me just clarify something, though. Babe is not a spoiler, but she's like the opposite. It's like almost worse.
What's
like
worse?
She look at you all weird, like, wait till he see this part coming. I wonder what he's gonna think about this. If something goes by like real fast and you think I missed it, you be like,
I only do it
here's what you missed.
No, I will just rewind it back, and I'll only do it if it's a pivotal part. I'm just checking to see if he got that thing that's probably going to come up later that he probably is going to be like, oh, I didn't see that. And I'm going to be like, well, it's because you were on your phone. So to avoid me saying that, I'll just say, you know what? You got to pay attention because something about to come up. And
let's cover everything, right? Because this is open book. We got to give them the full context, right? Listen, y'all, I'm a little bit older than my wife, right? Mm-hmm. 6 years older than her. I grew up in the VCR era, in the cable era. We watched a lot of movies and we did not always see the whole movie. There's a lot of times you just flipping and you just hit HBO and the movie's 15, 20 minutes in and you just absorb it. You fill in your mind the things you missed And then the next time you catch it or you see it in the TV guide, you're like, let me catch that 15 minutes real quick. So I'm not saying you're supposed to watch that way, but I don't be opposed to missing little tiny things.
And I don't watch it that way. Yeah. If it's already on, I ain't watching it. If I haven't seen it before, I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna get half of the movie.
What happened back in the day when you was just scrolling through and the movie was already on?
Well, I was never in the house, so it was rare for me to be scrolling through. On the times where I wasn't stuck in the house, I wasn't in the house, so it was very rare.
Y'all heard that, y'all, right?
For me too.
The answer is I wasn't a nerd like you, husband.
No, I was not watching TV. Halfway or something pop up and it's like, ooh, this movie. Okay, I didn't see it from the beginning, so I'll catch it next time.
We was TV nerds in my family. We watched a lot of TV.
So this movie that we're speaking of
is
Wicked.
Wicked,
oh,
y'all.
We went and saw it.
Wicked.
It was very, very, very good. I loved it. I did not cry in the theater. I did get a little misty-eyed during a certain part, but I did not cry in the theater. I was just kind of in awe, really. Like the ending was just like, oh, and like everybody clapped, and it was like, you know, I like the theater that I was at, and like the moviegoers that day were very tame, and they weren't like screaming at and unfortunately, excuse me, Honor and I were in the second row.
Yeah.
So I had to recline the seat back as far as it would go because my eyes was like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
So, it was a bit of a struggle, but my theater was a bit quiet compared to most theaters. Honor and I, we both dressed in pink and green. I had on the green, she had on the pink, so we had like little matching jogging suits, so that was cute. But no, we didn't see anybody with like hats on or costumes or anything like that. So yeah, it was, we both thoroughly enjoyed the movie. So,
let's get into it.
Was excited to have you join.
All right. So it's a book, right?
It's a book and multiple plays. I have not seen the play, and I also have not read the book. And I normally love to read the books before, or even see the plays before I would get into.
You do.
The movie, but I did not have that option this time around. So I've been picking up little.
I think we could play catch up with it though.
Yeah, I think so. There's been little snippets and tidbits that I've seen of, you know, the second part. So this is Wicked Part 1, which is essentially the first half of the play. And the second part, which comes out next year, is the second part of the play.
Gotcha. So Wicked, what is Wicked?
It's a fan adaptation of the actual book or the movie, The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, right.
Or both.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Both. The book that became the movie, that became a phenomenon.
That became a phenomenon that brought us the Oz the Oz,
Judy
the Wiz,
Garland,
and yeah.
You know, that whole thing. The Wiz. Come on, y'all.
The Wiz. And then we had this come out in the 90s. Yeah. So.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Floyd, one half of the Open Book Podcast. Listen, I'm so glad y'all are rocking with us. We're so glad y'all tapped in to see what we got going on. Me and my wife are so excited about this podcast, but we also got some other things going on. So go out and check us out. We have a brand new coloring book for children, man. One of the things that we want to do under our imprint called What's Good Publishing is publish some books that can help Black culture move forward, be more appreciated. We have a book out right now called Burnt Sienna. That's BURNT SINNA. The book is a coloring book for children that profiles like 20 really, really dope Black historical figures, gives them an opportunity to color them in. Burnt sienna is the name of a special color that's kind of brown, it's kind of red, it's kind of us. You know what I mean? It's only in the 64 box of coloring crayons, so go check those out. Make sure you got at least get a brown. But if you ain't got brown, make sure if you can go above and beyond brown, go get that burnt sienna. Go get that 64 box with the sharpener on the back like we had back in the day. And check that book out. It's really about helping children of all cultures and all backgrounds really have a greater appreciation for Black images and learn a little bit of something along the way, right? Because these are figures that not many schools are teaching about. So go check us out. It's on Amazon right now. You could actually go hit the link directly if you go to what'sgood.work. That's www.what'sgood.work. Hey, let's head back to the show, y'all.
I remember when the book dropped, I was working at this company and a lot of people was reading, and I was like working this help desk job. So I had to go around to a lot of people's desks. And I remember this book being the topic. And I remember thinking, like, when somebody told me what it was, they're like, yo, they're going to really explain how the Wicked Witch got to be wicked because it's deep. And I was like, yo, that's a dope concept because you know me, I'm always about the complex characters. I hate when it's why me and Tyler Perry tend to have run-ins. I hate when it's just black and white. It's just one-dimensional. This person's evil. No. Life is never like that. It's never like that.
Right.
So if somebody is the damn Wicked Witch of the West, something happened to her.
Oh, absolutely.
Something
How
happened.
did she get to be called that? Like, what's the backstory?
So I loved it. I thought it was a freaking masterpiece visually. I thought it was a masterpiece in the storytelling. And I don't think we need to go into a million spoilers.
No, we're not
to do this to do this review justice. I don't think we need to go too deep.
Okay.
I mean, because the only spoiler would be, how did she get there? How did this happen? Right?
Okay.
You think we need to do it? We got to do it.
Let's just roll.
All right, let's do it.
See how it goes.
Hey, this open book, man. Ain't no rules.
Well, yeah.
Ain't no rules.
Yes.
We got to be open book.
Let's
okay.
just see how it goes.
The movie kicks in. Bam. First scene. We are in.
So this it could possibly have spoilers. Let's just say that it could possibly have spoilers. And then that way, if you haven't seen the movie, then
Pause
you won't feel some type of way that we are talking about it.
If you ain't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, pause here, come back after you've seen it. With that being said, movie starts. Ariana Grande plays Glinda.
Glinda.
The G is silent.
Well, at this point, she's Glinda.
She is
At the start of the movie, she's Glinda.
She's riding in her flying bubble that we all know and love. And she's talking to the good people of Oz about the fact that the Wicked Witch just died. You know, ding dong, the witch is dead, all of that good stuff, right?
Right.
So that's where we start. And the twist comes in, obviously, Glinda's the good witch. We all know that. We've grown up with that. We know this. She's sparkling. She's bedazzled. Right where she's leaving, they're like, yo, didn't you know her?
Wait. Hold up.
And weren't y'all friends?
What's up with that? I mean, the girl was like,
I mean, they burned the effigy of the witch.
They did.
They like, we really hate this woman. She been keeping us down all these years, and now she's finally dead. Like, you know how it is in the Wizard of Oz. This is time to celebrate. Which
I do believe is they're paying homage to the witch in the play, the big witch at the very beginning that they burned. I do believe they're paying homage to the witch in the play, which came out in the 2000s. So the book was in the 90s, and the play was in 2000s. So we gotta get into the story. And I thought interesting is that you see her come in this big bubble, right? And
the flying bubble. So she's obviously magical, right?
Okay, sure. You got to press buttons and do all of these things to get the bubble to work. So
and she's got like the foot pedal. I thought that was dope. They got like the little foot pedal.
And remember, she had to pop the bubble each time. She couldn't hear. She had to make sure the bubble was popped. I also thought it interesting. First off, I knew that Ariana Grande. So I knew she was a phenomenal singer, but I had no idea that she could sing like that. She was hitting some really, really high notes in this first scene. And honestly, I didn't know what she was saying the first time. It was like, what is she saying? Because it was so high. Yeah, that I couldn't, I thought it was beautiful, but I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds good. So that's dope. All right. Okay. Good job on her.
I am a distant fan of Ariana Grande. You know, me being a fan of iCarly and Sam and Cat and Victorious and that whole line of shows. I mean, her talent is off the charts, right? And then she was kind of adjacent to the hip hop community with her dating Mac Miller and Big Sean. So it's kind of like, that's how I first got exposed to her was, okay, this chick is blowing up. She was on these shows. She's hilarious. I think she's kind of like, to me, like these stars from like the 50s and 60s, like a Judy Garland, or like, you know, what's her daughter's name? Which I can't remember right now. She's like a throwback to these people who can act and are funny. They don't take themselves too serious, and they can sing. And they got all three of those, right?
Liza Minnelli.
She's a throwback to that era. Barbara Streisand, like that type of vibe. Like she can hit Broadway, she can hit everywhere. She can hit Saturday Night Live. She can do sitcoms. She got it all. She can do a stadium tour singing. So yeah, I've always been I won't say I'm necessarily a fan of her songs, but her talent is just ridiculous. Like I haven't seen anything she ain't dope at.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. And I'm a fan of her music. I mean, she does amazing. I remember her from Victorious, but she also did really good on Saturday Night Live. She was just recently on there and she was phenomenal, super hilarious. So I didn't really realize the extent of her background with just everything that she does. So it was really dope to see her really be able to come in and just knock this part.
Born to be Glinda. Born
to be Glinda. Yeah, she
because
was.
This needs some comedy. This needs that look.
And she wanted it. Apparently, this was like a role that she has lived for. So, like, dream come true for her.
That's dope. So we still at the first scene. Glinda is explaining to them, yeah, the witch was dead. You know, she looked kind of bittersweet about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing looking.
Yeah, her face was kind of like, I mean, it just really kind of depends on what your interpretation of what it is. Because some parts she looked like she was really sad. Some parts she looked like she was upset. And then some parts she just looked like, okay, let's get this over with. Like she was just like, okay, that's done. Check.
Let's go.
Let's keep it moving. So, you know, she did a good job of putting on the smiley face and doing what she does. But you could tell she definitely had some conflicted emotions for sure.
And I thought that was good, you know. And so, like I said, at the end, she hits you can see they're setting up, you know, this is the Wizard of Oz, obviously, right? Like the whole world, the whole universe we're talking about is the Wizard of Oz cinematic universe, right? So these people are scammers, right? So she's a witch, but she's rolling in this thing where she's got, like you said, she got to hit buttons and press foot pedals and pop a bubble to hear. It's not real.
Right.
It's manufactured. So she's showing that already. I love the fact that they show that in the first scene because it stays true to the Wizard of Oz, the Wiz, everything that we already know. You know you can't get this over on us. You got to show us up front because we already know the Wiz is a scammer. We already know the Wizard is a scammer. So she is trying to float away and they ask her like, yo, but wasn't you friends with this witch?
Right, yeah.
And she says, yeah. Back in school.
And then we get a flashback.
Story begins.
Right.
So the story begins with
her mom and her dad. Or her mom and the mayor of Munchkinville.
Yes. And Elphaba, which is the name of the Wicked Witch, she's played by Cynthia Erivo. Great job. I mean, she's ridiculous. First of all, she played Aretha Franklin and the Wicked Witch of the West. Like,
amazing. What? And she was also Harriet Tubman.
She
wrote and produced the song that came from that movie.
And I mean, we don't live near New York, but we know she done tore Broadway down for some years now.
Yeah, she was in The Color Purple. She's amazing. Her voice is amazing. I mean, I couldn't have pictured. Obviously, I've never seen like we said earlier, the play or anything, but I just can't imagine anybody else playing this role to the level that this role. She did an amazing job. She was phenomenal in this movie. Her voice is just And I mean, I don't even think she's actually said that this, like, Defying Gravity is not the hardest song that she ever sang, which is crazy because that song, you got so many highs and lows and dips and valleys for that song.
The music in this
really
movie,
good.
It is good, but it is hard. It is not. Yeah. It's not elementary stuff. These is not elementary melodies or lyrics or rhyme patterns. It's floating. It's complex.
And her and Ariana Grande, I mean, their harmony is just beautiful. Sometimes it's like, is it just one voice? They blend so well, and then one of them will kind of take the lower note. But I mean, even that, they did so well. Like they picked John Chu did such a great. He did a good job.
He did step ups, right?
Step up. He did quite a few things.
Step up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Step
the one
up
that
to
I
the
was
game.
really
Step up
into
in
was
space.
Step Up to the Streets. And then he did In the Heights. He also did
Lin-Manuel Miranda, by the way, y'all, In the Heights.
He did In the Heights. He did something else. Why am I drawing a blank on the other thing that he did? But
Step Up 4, Electric Boogaloo.
He did a great job. The Asians. What was that?
Oh yeah, Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, Crazy Rich
which
Asians.
I haven't seen, but I gotta see it. Everybody always says that's dope.
Bunch of awards, but yeah. We kind of get an intro to how she is brought into this world. You got her mama tipping out.
Tell us what happened.
Mama's like, okay, husband, go on and do your job. Let me go and bring my little booski in. And then they're drinking like this green elixir or whatever. They're drinking a green
They drink. They
brew.
tipping back.
They tipping back. You can tell that they having some fun, right? And he drinks it, she drinks it. And then the next
They
scene,
romping.
They
romping.
twirling around.
All
right?
over the pianos.
Yeah.
They romping.
They was getting it. And then the next scene is, whoop.
She's pregnant. And
Popping out a baby, right? And then we also see that the baby, which is clearly a black baby that they painted green, comes out green.
Yeah.
And she's a disgrace.
Father
neither
disowned her.
of them hold her, mother or father. She's delivered by a bear. Talking bear was the nanny.
And then raised by the bear.
Because she's practically disowned by her family.
Now, this caught me off guard. The fact that, now, outside of the Wizard of Oz and the Wiz, I didn't really do a lot of Wizard of Oz folklore. I wasn't reading all into the books. But I didn't realize that it was based on talking animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me either.
People and talking animals living side by side. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know if that's just something they sprung up later.
Yeah, because I don't remember that being in like the actual.
But I mean, they did have
essentially they did have
cowardly lion.
A cowardly lion. So yeah, I mean, it was there.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah,
everything. You know what? It is because the crows can talk. Well, I'm thinking about the Wiz, but either way.
But the Tin Man. I mean, he was able to.
Yeah,
he was able to talk too. And I thought so interesting that here it is. This girl is green. And you find that weird, but you're hanging out with talking animals. It's like, what are we talking about?
But that greenness, that's the step
it's the
too
green.
far.
She's the odd one here, which is crazy, because I couldn't help but feel like, I mean, as a black person, having black, darker brown skin, varying shades of beautiful brown skin, feeling like some kind of way about her being discriminated against because of her beautiful green skin. I thought she was beautiful green. Yeah. I thought, even that baby, like when the baby came out, and you saw that curly hair, and it was like, look at that beautiful baby, right? Green or otherwise. It's a beautiful baby. And to see her, even her younger self was beautiful, beautiful. So the green, I just thought was really nice. They said that it was like 4 hours every day for her to get that green painted on her. And they did the freckles and everything. They really did a great job of making it look very realistic.
Yeah, I mean, because, I grew up watching The Incredible Hulk on TV, and they messed up on that every week. You could always see the makeup smudge. And as I said, they did a great job. It never came off. I think you make a really good point about the analogy to her greenness and our blackness. I thought of, even, and I know a lot of us can relate to, growing up around people who consider themselves animal lovers, but don't got no tolerance for us. It's like,
right.
You can go save all of these species.
Yeah.
But having dark skin is too far for you, you know? So it's like, I feel that analogy you're making there.
Yeah, I mean, because not only is she this different color, right? She's also hated immediately. And she's beautiful. She's intelligent, you know, but she's every turn she's treated like she's a monster. Horrible. And the really only species that shows her any love are the animals. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense the direction that the movie goes in, because you know, her mom was essentially an animal, a bear. That's who raised her and took care of her. Where her father and even her sister, who's in a wheelchair, you know, and the rest of these kids that she has to grow up around treated her like she was, you know, an alien. So,
and you know, it's important though that the moment she was born, she screamed.
Yes.
And levitated every object in the room.
Which was the coolest thing, because it shows you that her powers were always there from birth. They were there. But again, it came with a cry, right? So it's still not like, oh, she's smiling, she's happy. You know, she's screaming like you could feel that she's not wanted, you know, and that cry of somebody grabbed me, like, what? And you could see. So, I mean, I thought that was just so good to see, like, everybody's just like turning away from her. And then you see that power, and the theme of that power throughout the movie is based on her anger. So, yeah, really interesting.
And so you mentioned the sister. So she ends up with another sister.
Yep.
Younger.
Has another sister. Mother dies, giving birth to the sister.
Tell us how that happened.
So it's brought up in the movie where the father is distraught, clearly, and disowns Elphaba because she's green, but the mother gets pregnant again, and the father doesn't want her to deliver another green baby. So he has her taking milk flour.
Yeah.
And, this causes Nessa Rose, the little sister, to come early.
And the mother
not fully developed. Clearly her, you know, she's disabled. And then the mother dies during birth. So, you know.
Milk flowers, babe. Milk
flowers.
So we're going to make this baby white.
We're going to make this. So Elphaba thinks that this is her fault, because obviously the dad is this way because she's green. But that's the daddy's fault. I'm sorry. Or it's the milk flower's fault. Who are we blaming it on? It shouldn't be blamed on her.
Or it's just the parents' fault for being who they was, and not let her understand her real truth.
Right. I mean, the mother. We can take it back to the mama tipping out. What was daddy doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? That you're right. It starts with the parents. It shouldn't have been placed. The heavyweight shouldn't have been placed on her.
But it was, and it kind of reminded me of the way she internalized that. She walked around like, not only am I messed up, I'm so messed up. I'm defensive. Everybody I meet, I got to explain my existence.
Yes, she has a disclaimer.
I got to do this to everybody because it's my fault that they're uncomfortable. But not only that, you owning it. Like, it's me. I'm the reason my father did what he did, gave my mother the milk flowers, and now my mother's dead. So all of this is me. And it reminded me of, like, you ever heard, like, when people, like racist people, or when people talk about racism in the past, they'll be like, oh man, they did this down south because of the color of their skin. They discriminated against this person because of the color. It's not because of the color of their skin.
No.
It's because of the messed up brain they have.
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with the color of their skin, but it's like, that's the way that it's always explained. Even when we call it hate, we'd be like, oh, well, he hated them because of the color of their skin. No, that's not the reason.
Nope. But that's you. That's the uncomfortability with you. Exactly. It ain't got nothing to do with the other person.
I hate when it's like the fault is always going on the person for having the wrong color skin. Even when I got abused by a racist. Well, it's because you had the wrong color skin. No, what?
No.
What is that?
That's the logic. Oh, okay. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was really deep and painful and accurate how she internalized that on herself, because that is how we are. You know, like, even like, this is another one. You ever meet people, non-black people, and racism come up, and people will be like, man, well, I'm far from a racist.
Okay.
I don't care if you black, white, green, red, purple, brown.
I don't see color.
First of all, I hate. Why would you? And that's what I think is one of the most interesting things about this story.
And that line, I do believe, was in this movie. I don't see color. I think somebody said that.
Why would you equate me being black to somebody being green and purple? It's like, why do you got to be so open-minded that you even accept aliens and non-existent beings to like me?
Right.
That's what it takes?
Right.
You can't just be like, I'm not a racist. You got to be like, man, I don't care if you purple, white, black. It's like, what all that got to do with it? Doesn't make sense. Ain't purple.
It's right. And honestly, we have racisms in everybody does. Whatever color you are, whatever race you are, whatever culture you are, you have some type
of
thoughts to your own. So, and which could or could not be viewed as racist. So it just is what it is sometimes. I think that when it comes to portraying it to be skin color, that's when it becomes, okay, this is more than that. Because obviously, culturally, we all have our thing. Yeah. But then when you get into other things that have been classified as a specific, color, then that's something else.
100. So they end up going where? They go to school.
They go to university. Shiz University. And actually, and this is when Glinda comes into the picture, right? We get to see her. She's different from everybody. Her pink is evident. She's clearly rich, and she's clearly loved by everybody.
She's a star. She walks on the clouds.
On the campus, and everybody's fawning over her. Yeah. Everybody. Except for a few people.
She can do no wrong.
She can do no wrong. I mean, she's raised that way. That's just who she is. She's popular. She's the it girl. And then you get Elphaba and Nessa Rose, who, is there. Elphaba is not enrolled. She's only there with her sister.
I thought it was interesting. You see her first. She comes in first by herself.
She does come in first by herself, yeah. Which, again, is very... But that's probably because the dad was helping, the dad was hovering.
Was on her own.
She was on her own. And as soon as she steps foot up, it's immediate. And she's green.
And she gives her disclaimer that we see multiple times. She says, let me answer your questions up front. No, I haven't eaten grass. No, yes, I was born this way. Right? She got a whole speech that she always keeps giving through the movie, right?
I
didn't eat grass. I'm not seasick. And I was born this way.
Yeah. Which is whack. And then you again can see you could tell that she wanted to stay, but she's not enrolled. And her father makes her stay to make sure that Nessa Rose is okay. And Nessa Rose is like, why are you still here? This is my fresh start and my new beginning. I don't want you here. And then there's this scene where they introduce all of the faculty. And you get to see the sorcerer. I can't remember what her name is in the movie. But that's when, what's her name? Michelle Wu comes into the picture. And then Michelle Yeoh. And she's Madame Morrible. Yeah, Morrible. So she is the only one that's not entranced with Glinda. And there's this scene where she's saying that she's not teaching her class, but Nessa is being taken off by the headmistress. And it's very big for both Elphaba and Nessa Rose, for Nessa Rose to feel like she can do everything on her own. And when she takes her away, she kind of the headmistress just kind of pushes her off, no, I can take it from here. And then her power comes out. And then that's when everything is oh, she's even scarier now.
She levitates everything.
And she even knocks off a piece of the brick to show, I think it had the
facade that's got a painting on it.
Yeah, it had the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. It had him on it, and then it falls off, and then you could see that there was, in fact, a time where there were the animals that were the faculty who were teaching everyone and talking. Yeah, and they only had one animal left, which was the goat.
Yes.
Yeah, which was the goat. So this is how she gets accepted into the school. The sorcerer sees her. She says she wants to teach her. And Glinda just happened to be around and volunteers her room unknowingly. Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of how her father lets her attend the school, and she has to room with Glinda.
So Glinda wants to be a sorceress / witch.
And she's hoping that this lady is going to teach her, and the lady's not
She got no powers. Glinda is exactly like the wizard. She's just a regular person. She wants to get with this lady, Miss Maribel. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Miss who?
Where'd she go?
Yeah, Miss Morrible.
Miss Morrible.
Miss Morrible. So she wants to be chosen, as she's always chosen. She thinks this is going to be the same situation.
Because she even has the line, "Oh my gosh, I didn't get my way. I feel faint." I just thought that was the funniest thing. So Ariana Grande in this movie is hilarious.
She
has so many funny lines in this movie.
She's also white privilege.
She's very, very, very.
She's the embodiment of white privilege.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Her friends won't even let her feet touch the ground.
No.
So she's just carried.
No, because even in the scene where they get to the room, and she has to share her room, and she gives her a corner that's literally just a cot by a window while she takes up the rest of the room.
Integration, right? Racial integration. We give you separate but equal quarters, right? We give you that little corner.
Yeah, so it progresses to a musical number, which was great. And then you kind of can see, again, them just having different personalities, Glinda being the popular one, and then, of course, Elphaba not being popular at all.
Not only not popular, she, I saw that they said, what's the director's name? John Chu? Mm-hmm. He said one of his trademarks is visual storytelling with colors. He absolutely did that in here, right? So the school's uniform is blue. Everybody's wearing blue except for Elphaba and Glinda. So Glinda is wearing
She's wearing
pink.
Black. Oh yeah.
Glinda's wearing pink. She never stops wearing pink. Does she want to do what she want to do? She's white privileged. I do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't conform to anything. And on the opposite end, Elphaba is wearing black.
But she does wear the blue shirt.
But she starts to phase in. I thought that was really interesting. She starts to conform. Mm-hmm. She initially didn't. She initially was standout stark. And then you start to see her put some blue under her black. And then she even, once they got to be friends, she even allowed her to make her over.
She was very stylish from there. Yeah. Her outfits were like, oh, okay, I see you, Elphaba. Because it was still black, but it was like, a dress here, or, maybe she has knee-high boots.
Yeah.
Or, you could definitely see that her style changed quite a bit for sure. Yeah.
So the middle of the movie was really not unlike a whole bunch of other movies.
Well,
right?
no, we got the second act where they have the Oz Dust dance. Am I saying that? Oz Dust dance? Where they all, Jonathan Bailey comes into the movie.
Yes.
Right? Because then they have this thing where you got the animals, the goat, he has this thing written up in the classroom where, animals are to be seen, not heard. And then she kind of goes and she kind of talks to him about them being taken away. And then that's when Jonathan Bailey comes in because she meets him like on the way home, and she's totally not impressed by him at all. Because remember, she gives him the disclaimer. He's like, okay, why are you telling me these things, right? Yes. And she told him to go get stuffed, which is hilarious. And then the next day, that's when Glinda, it's like reported that he's coming, and then Glinda sees him, and then they have this big thing where they like immediately hook up. And then that goes into the library scene where he has his big number, which was amazing, in the library with the twirling.
So this guy is a prince from another part of the land, right?
So he came from Oz.
Yeah, and he comes in, and he is like, they tell the story really quickly and clearly that he's a bad boy. He's getting thrown out of every school because he doesn't conform either.
He doesn't conform.
Right?
And he's liked by all. No different from Glinda. He's just really the male version of her. I mean, men and women love him.
He actually felt to me like he was the embodiment of both of them.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
At the same time. Like, because they are mirror images. One of them combined is him.
Is him. Yeah, I agree. But is it though? I mean, that's what he wants everybody to believe. So yes, I can see that. I can
think
see
what
him
he
playing that part, but
yes,
there's also more to him that he is showing people.
I think he wanted people to believe he was the male version of Glinda, but Elphaba can see through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she sees the part of him that's exactly like her.
Yeah.
And I think this story is not about love. It's not a love story per se, like in the typical movies like this. But I thought it was love in that was real for him. And it changed him the moment he saw that, and she saw that in him. I think it changed him for the rest of the movie. And I think there was I hate to use that word love because it kind of makes your mind go somewhere else with the story.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't all about, oh my God, they're going to kiss and all of that.
No, it wasn't that. It was just more of a realization.
Yes.
Yeah, it was he kind of had his blinders taken off, right?
Yes.
Or our blinders, because that was a thing. Like, they have this dance, which is a huge part of the movie. They have this dance where, from the library scene, you have Brock asking the sister, Anessa Rose, to the dance because Glinda said he should. And then... But
the way that she did it, right? This is Glinda, right? So Glinda shows her usual style, right? So we get to see the Glinda that ends up becoming the good witch, right? Where she's going to give charity to somebody based on what she wants, right? What she really wants is to clear the waters for her.
Right.
So she's like, I'm going to do something good for y'all, which is what we end up seeing of Glinda, right? At the end, right? This is how Glinda is a good witch.
Everything has to be self-serving to her in some type of way. And this was to get him out of her way. And then she finds this hat. Her grandmother knitted her or made her a black hat that they were like, her friends were like, ugh, this hat is horrible. And she's like, oh, I know, I would never give this to anybody, not even my worst enemy. And then, of course, Elphaba walks into the room and they think it's funny, like a nice little joke for her to gift her this hat, which Elphaba is like, wow, and invites her to this big party that they're having. And so then Elphaba goes to the sorcerer to say, hey, I really think that you should, now that she's invited me and my sister to this party, I think you should allow her to come to the class that, us be
private
in this
class
private
where
class
I'm learning how to be a sorceress. The thing that Glinda wants more than anything.
Right.
Elphaba got it for her.
Right. So they go to the dance. And nice dance. You could clearly see that, again, Bach is not really into this chick, but only starts to show her attention once he sees Glinda and Prince Fiyero kiss. And then that's when we see the sorcerer come and tell her, Glinda, like, hey, I'm giving you this training wand so that you can join my class. Elphaba insisted. And she said she would leave if you didn't allow her to come, and you need to make sure you thank her because here she comes. And so here Elphaba comes in this beautiful black dress with this witch hat
that everybody was clowning her on.
Come down, they clowning her.
Still clowning.
They just create this big circle around. They like spread the waters, right? She's standing in the middle. Everybody's laughing at her. And she starts dancing. She starts doing takes her hat off first and starts doing this dance that everybody's just laughing at her, clowning her. And she ends up putting the hat back on. But you can see she's like super emotional. She's crying. She's just kind of like, man. And then Glinda realizes, like, I feel terrible. Here it is. I've been dogging this girl. And she did the thing that I most wanted. Yeah. And I have really fostered this environment of all of these people making her feel. Yeah, she has a turning point, and she dances with her. And I love this scene because obviously you could tell that there's real emotion there. And she was directed to not know the dance, so she literally had to follow her, whatever the movements were that Elphaba was doing. She had to follow them, and that opened the door for them to form this friendship. It was a beautiful scene. This was the scene that I got misty-eyed at the theater. It was beautiful scene.
They had to be mirror images of each other visually, which again, great visual storytelling, letting the audience know exactly who these people are. Showing the progression of Glinda, letting you know so that you're, again, Tyler Perry, if you're listening, again, letting us know this person is not all evil. This is a complex character.
It is very.
And we're going to show you exactly how complex. We're going to give you the whole story.
Right. And then we go right into the popular scene, which is them having the dance and her trying to figure out how to dress Elphaba up and make her different when she really just settles.
This is her version of love.
This is her version of love.
You are now my friend.
I'm going to make you popular. We can tell each other our
I only
deepest,
know how to
darkest
do it one way.
secrets. And I'm going to make you dazzle. Of course, I'm going to make you popular. You're never going to be as popular as me.
And I'm going to drive.
But I'm gonna steer you. And I love that it just really wound up being you're perfect and beautiful as you are. I'm gonna give you this flower, show you that pink and green goes together well, and tell you that you're beautiful, which she probably has never heard in her life.
Big scene when she said that.
Huge scene. She ran off. Of course, she was emotional again. She ran off, and then you can see her finishing the scene was like, yeah, I'm gonna make you popular, boo, but you ain't gonna be as popular as me.
But you know what I thought was really interesting?
Was just such a great scene.
After it all ended with, I'm just going to give you a flower because you already got the beauty. She still imitated Glinda after she left. She started flipping her hair.
Yep.
She was, what did he call her? The prince came and he said, you've been Glindified.
You've been Glindified. And then he told her, you don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that.
You don't know.
I thought, again, that spoke really big to Black aesthetic, the Black aesthetic of beauty versus the white normalized aesthetic of beauty, and how there is a lot of pressure. Even when you do come to that realization that I am beautiful the way I am, there's still that lingering pressure when they ain't looking to flip that hair and think about that image of whiteness. I thought that was an excellent, those are the little small things you can do to really make a story perfect.
And then from there, it goes into the scene of the goat being captured, the teacher being captured, and then Elphaba unknowingly casting a poppy spell, right?
Yeah. So overall,
from the poppies.
And we didn't touch on it real big because it's a lot and we don't want to take 3 hours. But the overall arch of that is that in the past, the teachers are teaching them that their animal teachers are teaching them that in the past, the animals could talk. A lot of animals could talk and they would teach. And they lived perfectly fine with humans. And then humans started dominating them and trying to take away their ability to talk. And the more that they took it away, the less they could actually talk. They actually would become timid to where they lost their ability to talk because they would be so mistreated if they did talk.
And they put them in cages.
Also, if you're keeping track at home, explains the Cowardly Lion. But we'll get there on another episode. But
which is also a little lion cub that is brought into the classroom and taken away.
They invent cages. They invent animal cages. And so the one of the common themes is that humanity is taking over animals. They are making them hide in back dark rooms to talk. And they are caging them when they see them. And eventually there's not going to be any animals living free. They all going to be in cages and, kind of like how we are right now, where ain't no animals talking or teaching nobody nothing. That's where they're headed. And this is what Elphaba makes the realization of. And to your point, babe, which I thought was really dope, Elphaba was raised by an animal.
Yeah. This is huge for her. She's the only one in the class that's like upset. Everybody else is like, why are we talking about this?
And that's another point which I got to make super quick. Ozians, the people who live in Oz, these ain't normal humans. I thought they did a really good job of conveying that, right? Like all of us who've seen The Wizard of Oz, especially all of us who've seen The Wiz, know that Ozians are just sheep people. They follow whatever an aggressive, assertive person tells them. They just fall in line like that. That's who they are. That's in their DNA. So you see that over and over in this movie, like, except for the people who are not exactly from there.
Right.
So you see, like you said, Elphaba is like, this is messed up. This dude is a great teacher. He was teaching us. I was raised by an animal. This is not right. Everybody else, you could kind of see on their face that was like, that's kind of messed up, but oh well. This is where we're headed now. Let's go.
And then even when she unknowingly cast that spell, Fiyero is the only other person that's not affected by it.
And I think it's because he's not from there. Remember at the beginning, when he popped up, he said, I'm from, Wickers?
He's from Oz.
No, it was another land he said he was from, and it had a weird name because he said it a couple of times.
He did, but then he said Oz.
It was somewhere. Yeah, find that. It was because I think he said It was something like that. But so yeah, she spreads poppies, which is great. Nod back to the Wizard of Oz and the Wiz. I'm gonna keep putting the Wiz in there because y'all know. But she spreads
Winky
poppies.
country.
Winky country. So she accidentally makes poppies fly all over the class. Everybody goes to sleep. Her and the prince run off into the woods with the lion cub. They pull him out of the little cage they was building so that they can really free him. And they start to and that's when he realizes, I am like you.
Yeah.
I am not a conformist.
She calls him out. Yeah, she told him.
I am not like Glinda.
I love that scene when she told him, like, you pretending.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be so miserable if this was how you really were.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was facts. And I think it did. It hit him all the way to the core.
Yes, it did.
And he immediately
totally changed after that. Yeah, because she sang that song, I'm Not That Girl, which was another great song that doesn't really get talked about a lot, but it was a really good song. And
Glinda thought she was going to marry dude.
Oh, my gosh. Remember, because she got... That happened, and then the sorcerer sent a letter off to the Wiz, and, it came back to where it's time for you to go visit. And on the way to the train coming, he comes back to she was looking for him. Like, where is? I mean, I know he ain't here to see me, but where is he?
He been acting different.
She was like, he been thinking and stuff.
Because she didn't open up his mind outside of the walls. And so, yeah, overall, the sorcerer lets the wizard know. I'm going to always say the Wiz, y'all. Y'all know what it is. The sorcerer lets the wizard know, we got the one.
Yep, we got the
real
one.
You
got to see her.
You've been looking. We got the one. So she sends away. He comes back. They send a train for her.
But wait, I thought that this was a nice thing to bring up very quickly. How when they get the telegram, it starts to rain. And remember, she covers her up.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I control the weather and sends the rain away. But remember, she's supposed to melt if she gets wet. Yes. So that was nice little winky wink, right, at the very beginning to say, oh, we can't let you get wet, boo. So, yeah, she comes and the train comes to get her. And
but Glinda, that also shows you that lady knew.
Oh, yeah, of course she knew. Yeah, because the way she said it to her was like, oh, no, we can't have you getting wet.
Because this is when they still wanted to use her, right?
Right, yeah. So she gets on the train. She's leaving. Fiyero gives her a poppy. They throw this big send-off for her. And that's when Glinda
gives her the thing, saying, I hope all of your dreams come true, your heart's desires.
Yes, and she was like, you need to come with me. But before that happens, her and Fiyero are talking about the animals and all. They made this big protest, right, because they took the cub. And so Glinda's like, I'm going to stand on it too. Yes. Because he could never say my name right, I'm going to change my name to Glinda to show solidarity for the animals. So now she's Glinda instead of Galinda. And they go off.
And again, you get to see Glinda as the good witch, right? Like, this is how it happens.
Yes, because everybody thought it was the greatest thing ever, right? And she was like, I mean, people love you. This is not really a big deal.
That's what I love the most about this story. You get to see how these people get the positions they got, right? Like, I ain't gonna get political with it, but everybody always get all upset when certain people get elected. I'm like, but look at how, and understand the how. We've seen in other movies how the wizard got where he was at. He flew in on a balloon and they thought he was magic, and he kept that joint going.
Yep.
Man, I am magic. You right.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna let y'all see the real how I'm doing it.
Right.
But I'm gonna perform enough tricks.
Yeah.
That y'all all gonna think I'm magic. And as we just talked about, Ozians believe anything, so they will follow a leader, and he is the leader. So I thought it was really dope. You get to see Glinda be like a little wizard.
Yeah.
She's just like him.
Yep, she running the show, essentially.
Because she ain't got no powers.
No, she does not. Her popularity is her
powers are popularity. Mm-hmm. She know how to manipulate folks, man. I mean,
she get what she want.
So, and you'll see her do this hair flip thing from day one.
Oh my gosh, which is hilarious. And everybody is like, oh.
She has it's almost like the wizard with the giant face or Emerald City. it's what she hides behind. She got to keep doing it.
Yeah, which is why it does not work for Elphaba, because that's not her thing. She has her magic. She has her smarts. She has her skin. That's her thing.
Yeah.
So we go to the Oz, and beautiful, right? Everybody's dancing. They're green. They're having a good time.
Y'all know how it go. And hey, shout out to the black dancers that rolled through.
Man, they came in bumping, didn't they? They stood out so much.
I was like, he's the West and he lives in us.
So much. He was twerking and everything. We also get to see the original cast from the play, which was really nice.
Yeah.
They had a scene that they did, so we were able to get to kind of just have them be in, and there were quite a few people who kind of popped up from the play, the various plays that there were. There were a few people that played the Wicked Witch, or they played Glinda, or they had some type of role in the previous play. So that was nice that he had them pop up around the show. Yeah, so they get to the doors. We meet the monkeys, who do not have wings. They're the guard. They're just there. They take them both to the back. And in this, you could see as they're walking through the town, you could see their bond, Glinda and Elphaba, getting stronger and stronger. They get to the door. They say they're best friends. They go in. They meet the big Wizard of Oz, and he does his whole production.
Jeff Goldblum, y'all.
We get Jeff Goldblum. 'Cause come on.
What
How
a
can we
good
not have
casting,
Jeff
man.
Goldblum? Amazing, amazing actor. So good to see him just really be himself in this movie. And when she has to come forward, first off, I thought this was so funny when he like get all boomy, and she was like, "Oh no, baby!" Elphaba was running. I thought that was
it was just
funny.
like the Cowardly Lion did.
Yes, he was like, I'm leaving. And Glitch like, no, you gotta stay. But I just thought that was so funny, because I'm with you, Elphaba. I'm like, oh no, you coming booming.
He hiding behind the big metal face like he always is.
And as soon as he heard her name,
they say the name, he comes back out. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end, because I know you got some points to make on that one.
Yeah, she says her name. He comes out. He's like, oh, wow, you're here. Let me show you my plans. And so, he
got plans to make her the first lady, basically.
Yeah,
you're going to run this place with me.
Yeah, she's with him. He has a little action figure. He has this whole sandbox where he has what the future town is going to look like.
And matter of fact, y'all, the dopest part about it, the sandbox that he had was Oz that we see in the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
It actually did come to fruition.
It did, yes. And
he asked him to even choose the color of the brick road.
Yeah, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the sorcerer comes. And then it's like, we got, what was the name of the book? Do you remember?
No. But there's a magical book of spells. It's shaped funny. You know how you got to do it in the movies. And they like, we need you to go up and try this book.
Right. And, the sorcerer is telling her, like, don't be worried if, you don't get it. It took me 2 years just to say 2 words. And she gets it immediately. What they do is they say, well, how can you prove? She's like, well, how can I prove myself? Because the sorcerer told her she needed to prove herself. And they go to the monkey, and he's like, oh, well, he loves birds, and he wants to fly.
He's always looking at the birds.
And, and you could see the emotions on the monkey. Like, yeah, I do like birds. They're really cool, right? Of course, he's not talking, but you could see it in his face how, it's very, just the expression is like, yeah. So she's like, great, I'm going to give you wings.
She spits a spell out of this book that makes wings violently grow out of the monkey's shoulder blades. And turns out they grow out of all of the monkey's shoulder blades, and they're in pain. And Elphaba is obviously like, this ain't it. I was looking to do some goodness.
Right.
I wasn't trying to do that.
Right, because of course she loves the animal. She's not trying to hurt him. And so she asks the sorcerer, like, the grimoire, how do we reverse this? And she tells her, you can't reverse anything from the grimoire.
Shout out to Elphaba, because she wasn't like Dorothy, man. She figured it out instantly.
She did. She figured it out instantly. Once she realized, okay, what y'all asking me to do, I can't do. I mean, this was her dream, right?
And she didn't play that wax stuff that they usually do. where they look at somebody else first. She went straight to the wizard. Like
she gave him the grippery. Remember? She was like, "Here, you do it. You do it."
She was like, "You can't do it, bro. You fake." She figured the whiz out faster than anybody ever.
Yeah, because they like, no, we need you to do. That's why we got you here. We need you to do this with us. And as soon as she left, they recruit Glinda to go get her. And then the sorcerer goes to the monkeys and tell them, she did this to you. She the one that gave you wings.
So now is where the movie gets its name.
She's the evil one.
We have
go get her.
All APB. They have an announcement system, as you remember from the Wiz. They got an announcement system that everybody in the town can hear, and she says, "We gotta get her. Her green skin is a what they say is a reflection of the evil within. She is a wicked witch." And there you have it. So she off and running. They chasing her. They trying to get her.
They trying to get out. They try to get gold through the balloon, right? They got the wizard. They
sent Glinda to get her, but Glinda is conflicted because Glinda is still her friend.
She's still her friend, and they like, we're gonna ride out together.
A scammer. She's also a sham.
She's powerless. Like, what is she really gonna be able to do?
She is way out of her depth, and she knows the only way that I could even stay here
is to do what they say. Because my only power is my popularity. And these people are going to be able to give me essentially what I want. I can't ride off with you because now we fugitives, right? What am I going to be able to do?
But to her credit, she caught her. And she ain't try to make her. She ain't try to grab her or nothing.
Like, what are you doing? Like, this is your dream. You're being ridiculous.
She tried to use her power of persuasion. It didn't work.
And then once she realized that this is, and even Elphaba was like, you know what? This is exactly what I want. But I can't. I can't want this anymore. This is bigger than us, right?
Yeah.
So that we get to the connection of realizations. Now we
get to the climax of it all.
Now we're at the climax.
She knows that I gotta cast a spell on myself so I can get out of here. They try to use my man, the wizard's balloon, but it got destroyed. He kept it in and it was destroyed and burnt up. I gotta fly out of here somehow. I'm going to cast a spell on me.
I'm going to think these wings is going to work for me. It worked on the monkeys, right? Yep. But it didn't. That's not what she got. She got her broom.
She got the broom.
And I thought in this moment when the wings didn't come and Glinda's like, oh, maybe you're not as powerful as you thought. I was like, when that broom started moving, I was like, what you got to say to that, Glinda, right?
So she got the broom. Time to fly off. So she got the broom. She wearing black. She wearing a hat. What's she missing?
She missing her cloak, which Glinda gives her, right? She tells her,
said,
come on, it's time to go.
She told her to come with her.
Yeah, she said, come with me.
Hop on this broom with me.
She says, you're freezing, you're shaking. And she goes to get her the cloak. And, again, which wraps
is one
it
of
around her.
Just a black shroud hanging at the top of the wizard's palace.
That she creates.
Where he flew his balloon out of. So she grabs it and rips it down and ties it around Elphaba's neck. And now she has everything that we've ever seen. And John Chu is good at this, but we're going to get the Avengers spin around 360 shot.
Was beautiful.
And it was killer.
It was beautiful.
Oh, it was dope.
And I thought you made a good point earlier when you said that all of these items that she has, the hat, the cloak, these are things that has been given to her, right?
By Glinda, basically.
By Glinda, right. Yeah. The first one not really being an honest gift, but the other is, to help her along on her journey.
So the final scene is a tearjerker.
Oh, it's beautiful.
She jumps to escape. She can't fly at first. She loses the broom and she's falling to her death.
And she sees herself, her younger self, right? Yes. This unlimited song she's singing. She sees her younger self and they reach out to each other. And the connection that they have is the broom.
Brings the broom back.
Right before she hits the ground, flies up, and she tell them like, y'all want me. I'm the one y'all want. And guess what? Y'all ain't get me.
The Wicked Witch is born. And she said, what? You can find me in the West?
Yep. Oh my gosh, her singing was absolutely
The Wicked Witch of the West is born. And the flying monkeys that they sicked on her
are now following her.
She turned them around to use to her advantage. Although you notice when she did get them to attack, they did not attack Glinda.
They did.
No, Glinda was still standing there. Remember, all of them was there, and they was even standing next to Glinda.
Oh, you talking about that
And the
scene on the
flying
original
monkeys
scene
attacked.
they
Yeah.
did when they was trying to get both of them. You're
Yeah,
right.
when Elphaba flew them in, they only attacked the wizard
The guards.
and the guards.
Yeah, you're right.
They did not attack, the sorceress and the guards, because the wizard was down in his office.
Yeah.
Like he always is, hiding.
Yep. And then he came out. And then you could also see where Glinda and the sorceress, now they're friends.
Yes.
Because, her token
Not necessarily
is gone.
friends, but
she's there.
They got, marriage of convenience.
Yeah, it's somebody there that she can have do their will.
So we got one last thing, though. You got to give us your theory.
Which is?
Who's Elphaba's father?
Oh, I think it's the Wizard of Oz. Absolutely.
What makes you think that?
Well, because at the very beginning, there's a couple reasons why I think that. The very first reason was at the very beginning, they have the green bottle, right? And so obviously there's some elixir.
When her mom is stepping with the dude.
Yeah, with he drinking, she drinking, they drinking. You got this green baby. That's magic, of course, right? And then also it was a part where, and I don't know too, it seems like you said the sorcerer was waiting for her. They were waiting for her. So I can't say that, obviously, because she was with the Munchkin guy, the mayor, she wasn't enrolled in the school, but her being at the school brought attention to herself and her writing her to say, I think she's the one. But then she gets there, and in the sandbox, when they're talking about, he already got this figurine of her with green skin, which, she was hoping to degreen herself, but she's got this green skin. And it's a scene where he says, I always wanted to be a father. And in that, it is, I always wanted to be a father. I wanted to have a son or a daughter. And he just got so oozy when he said that, like a daughter. And I'm like, and he looked at her. And even when they first got there, he did the magic trick only with her, with the coin behind her ear. Remember, because he was like, you brought an unexpected person. Like, they weren't expecting Glinda to be there. They didn't want her there until obviously they needed her. But it was too much emotion that he was putting in. And his attention was really, now you could look at it he needs her because she has powers, but it was just too much focus on her. I think it was more than that. I think that she is his kid.
I agree with that. I think it says a couple of things too, though. One thing I love is that it means if that's true, and I agree with that. I think it is true, but that means the wizard actually did have some magic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He did figure it out. He couldn't figure it out in himself, but he got it. He was able to pass it on.
Or maybe the sorcerer, he always knew her. And she was, remember, because she said that she tried to do the reading in the grimoire, and she couldn't do it. So maybe she had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe she made an elixir for him. And they chose this woman specifically because she's the mayor's wife of the Munchkin land.
It could be. I think it's so much. Y'all tell us what y'all think, right? Overall, I think this is really a story about a lot of things, but conformity, about when you are the outsider to what's normalized. It's an analogy. It's an analogy for racism. It's an analogy for a lot of the isms. When you are looked at as the outside and you know that you have innate abilities and gifts that were put in you, but you can't see them through the lens of how normal society is telling you to look. They feel like you are ugly and you are not valuable. So I thought all of that was in there. I love the fact that these are all complex characters. Even Glinda, I know we talked about this. I don't feel like Glinda was an evil character, although I know that's
Nope.
It's easy for us to go there to say, oh, one of them was seen as good, one of them seen as evil, and they flipped it.
No, that's not.
I don't think they quite flipped it. I think they exposed it to show us the real, which is what the Wizard of Oz story is all about. Exposing the real complex reality. Is the wizard even evil, right? Yes, that's something that he's exposed. He's not even a wizard. He's a man who was a failed magician circus guy who flew a balloon. So I think overall, I think they were true to the essence of Wizard of Oz story. Exposure and getting to the depths behind. I think I like the Prince. He was a really good side of the story. I thought Ariana Grande did her thing, even though the whole point is to not like her. I thought she really did her thing to be funny in it, man.
She was wonderful.
Man, she was so dope.
She was wonderful.
And Cynthia Erivo, oh my goodness, man, because you got to bring beauty to this character that we have only seen as this ugly witch with the bump on the nose and cackling with rotten teeth. Like, that's what every single person has ever seen of this character, flying through the air, but with the moon behind her. It's like you've never seen any beauty in this. And in one turn, she had to make you see true beauty. And I thought she did a great job, man.
She did. Her ending, the climax of her coming into who she is and her power was just absolutely beautiful. The second time around is when I cried, because, it was just beautiful for her to say, for her to be falling, still trying to figure out who she is, and to come to herself, child and all, to come to herself to say, it's me you want. I'm the one, right? And there's nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do that's going to bring me down, right? And to see her power grow when she hit that note at the end. Yeah. This movie was phenomenal. It's going to have all of the awards. I'm giving it a 8.5. I give it an 8.5, 9. I
was going to say, I give it an 8.9. I think it's up there, man.
It's very high.
It's up there.
It's an excellent movie.
Really?
The only reason why I don't give it a perfect 10 is because there were some spots in it that was a little too fast and made it a little blurry. I noticed that in the theater, and I thought it was just because I was sitting up close. But some of the some of the fast parts, and for me it was mostly in the beginning, but it was kind of blurry where things kind of just seemed a little unclear. But then once that kind of stopped, it panned out very well. But there were some spots that were a little sketchy. But other than that, thought it was an excellent movie. I highly recommend you go see it. There's so many small stories within the story, and people are gonna be talking about this for years. There's a part 2 coming next year, and then we'll recap then.
So hit us up on our Facebook page, on our Instagram, on our TikTok. Let us know what y'all think. Did y'all watch it? Did you like it?
What were your thoughts? Yeah.
Did you think it was janky? Did you not? Do you not agree with any of the stuff? Do you agree with any of the stuff? Did we bring up anything that you didn't think of? Let us know. We're going to keep covering some more things, and we're going to keep rocking. I'm glad y'all rocking with us, man. Oh, by the way, my grade was an 8.9. I will give it a 9, but Bowen Yang was in it.
Oh, he did okay.
He did.
Did you see his outfit? It was both.
It was pants and a skirt at the same time.
And so many things that made this movie what it was. It was phenomenal. Absolutely.
Nah, Bowen Yang, I usually don't like him, but he was good.
Everybody did a great job. Very good movie.
That's what's up. Yo, thanks for rocking with us, y'all. Check back in with us. We're going to do some more stuff. Like we talked about at the beginning, we're going to try to have more content consistently. We're going to try not to leave y'all hanging. Y'all don't leave us hanging. So we appreciate y'all. Until next time, folks. Peace. Yo, this beat though, man. It's all right, man. It's all right. You know, hood friends, they don't stay good friends. We got no blueprint for this, but we got footprints. And he who finds a wife finds a good thing, the book says. Now we making music like whistling woodwinds. I feel we should two-step, now we gon' hand dance. Etta James said better days to come at last. Walking down the aisle, now the sound of the pitter-pat. So well endowed though, we don't need Similac, I'm just spitting facts. Us got a nice ring to it. Circle on your finger, white dress in the theme music. We don't keep no secrets though, we open books. We on the same team, we get that open look. And we don't close the chapter till we open the book. Ephesians is no to us, we supposed to look. But you know I was showing out till you showed up. You took me on a ride out of neutral, huh? You ready for the level up, it's mutual, huh? You ready for the level up? Let's level up. Water to my soil, baby, made me grow. Daily affirmations, yeah, you played your role. Before we had our love scene, I cleaned my act. And since we walked the aisle and never seen a mat. Yeah, and these are facts you can co-sign. We's a whole vibe back when Quest was a whole tribe. Man, I stared you down when we met like she's so fine. Whole time God had a plan in the whole 9.
Like me and you on a ride till the wheels gone. And even after that, when we flying with wings on. When you need some help with the zip on your queen roll, and I need some help with the note that we singing on, like glory, glory. Every open book got two stories, unfold like newspapers, true story. Queen's the best thing that happened to a king. She's the best thing that happened to that ring. We was a mess before we matched up with that ring. The wedding was a draft, now we run a killer team. Told you my dreams, first date out, flirting behind home plate. We is just making out. You swung first pitch, said I was the one already. Your mama loved me, said I was a son already. I wasn't ready, first pitch curved in the air. I ran out in left field, thought I was a player, but you was not buying tickets to sit up in the stands, and you was not crying a river. Not over no man, and when you back I had to step up my hygiene. Started using truth paste cause I had that lie gene. Now we don't keep no secrets though, we open books. We on the same team, we get that open look. And we don't close the chapter till we open the book. Ephesians is no to us, we supposed to look. But you know how it's showing out till you showed up. Show us, it show us. Show, yeah. Rock it out now. Yo, you gotta do that dance Michael Jackson did and rock with me. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, rock it out, yo. Yo. Snap your fingers. You gotta have your drink in one hand, snap the finger with the other. Yo, it's different when you got Tanqueray though. They even make that still? I don't even know. This was for you, babe. You know I was gonna send you one.